Well, good morning. Visitors. Any visitors this morning? Yes, ma'am. From where? Los Angeles. Colorado. Where else? Baltimore. Somebody else? Yes. Lancaster. Okay, well, welcome. And I see we have our new novice. Is this the new novice class? Why don't you stand up so we can see you all? This is the new novice class from the friary down the street. So we welcome them all. So you're all kind of visitors, right? But now you're here, this is home. No more visitors, okay? We'll send you envelopes. No. Can't get into heaven if you don't know your envelope number, right? Well, somebody liked it. I'm pleased with that. Well, we do welcome you all here today, and we're baptizing this baby who is right now totally bored, sound asleep, like some of you. So, in the gospel today, Jesus teaches a story that applies to everyone's life and particularly applies to us today. And that story is about whining. Not as in whining and dining, but as in whining. One of the things that we need to be aware of, and this is the import of Jesus' message today, is that there is a difference between Santa Claus and Jesus. There's a difference between Santa Claus and God. Santa Claus gives us what we want. God gives us what we need. And in the story of the gospel today, Jesus, being a good pastor, had been working hard, and he just got word of his cousin's death, John the Baptist. And so he wanted to be alone. And so he went off, it says, to a deserted place. And, as happens to all pastors, they found him. And when they found him, the guilt got to him and says, well, they're here, I got to take care of them. So he got up and he went and he healed their sick and took care of them. Then it got on to be towards evening, and the apostles came to him and said, you know what? It's evening, how are we going to feed these people? 5,000 men plus women and children, so probably 10,000 or better people. And he says, well, feed them. Well, you can imagine amongst the apostles what was going on there. What's he expect us to be caterers now? There was all kinds of whining going on. And so this was their first theological test. Since they were still in training, Jesus went to them with a challenge, and they failed it. Now, Jesus said, feed them. They said, we can't. We have 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And Jesus said, bring them to me. And so Jesus took the fish and the loaves, and all of a sudden, there was abundance. All of a sudden, everyone got fed. All of a sudden, everything was needed. That was needed was there. And just coincidentally, there were 12 baskets left over. How many apostles are there? Who do you think had to carry those baskets? The point being, simply, that they failed the test. And we fail it ourselves all the time. When we look around our lives and we're faced with a challenge, whether it's physical or spiritual or relational, no matter what the challenge might be, what is our initial reaction? Is it the reaction of the apostles? This is all we have, but? Or is it Jesus's, where he gathered what he did have and he gave thanks? And in giving thanks, he then shared. He shared what little there was. And in the sharing, experienced abundance. Look at our own lives. Every time that something comes into our life that is a challenge, what do we do first? Do we go to God and say, Lord, this is a challenge. I give you thanks for all that I have. I look around my life and see what resources you've given me, and then I share. And in sharing, an abundance begins to grow. But that's not what we do. We whine. Oh, there's not enough money this month. There's not enough time this month. There's not enough stuff this month. I didn't get what I wanted. You know, at Christmas time, when you're really wanting that new iPod, I'm not even sure what that is. I read that somewhere. Sounds like from outer space. But you're really wanting that new iPod, and your mother buys you jeans instead. Your mother's being like God. She gave you what you needed, not what you wanted. Because mothers and gods are not Santa Claus. And it's very important for us to understand that when people love us, they give us what we need, not what we want. Because what we want will distract us. Note that Jesus fed the 5,000 with bread and fish. There was no offering of cheese or iced tea. There were no special orders. Nobody said, oh, well, I don't eat gluten, or nobody said, oh, I'm allergic to fish. Nobody said that I don't do this. There were no side orders. He looked at what they had. He thanked God, and in the sharing, there was abundance. As you're going around the house and you're dreaming as the anniversary comes that you're going to get the new diamond bracelet, and you get the carpet sweeper instead. You got what you needed, not what you wanted. It's important for us to know the difference in our lives. Because when we do not know the difference, it leads to whining. All the things I don't have. And what Jesus is telling us in this story is, look at what you do have. And then take what you do have and share it. Take what you do have and give it away. Take what you do have and offer it to others. And you'll have 12 baskets to carry home. It's amazing how it works. But you know, most of us in here today, we won't try it because we don't trust God. We'd rather have Santa Claus. We'd rather have the assurance that He's going to give us what we want. But God says, I'm going to give you what you need. Look at your life right now. Do you have enough time? Do you have enough money? Do you have enough things? Well, the answer always is no. Because those aren't things we need. Those are things we want. Do your legs reach the ground? Yes? Yes? Apparently something don't. You see? Do you have air to breathe? You have companionship and fellowship. You have your friends. You have your wife, your husband. Now, that may not be what you want, but that's what you need.